Sure. Daniel, sir, I think it's 1. Do you think we can go ahead?
So just give me a minute, sir. Just 1 minute. Very good afternoon to everyone. Welcome back to this session 2 of day 4 on this 5-day faculty development program on research tools and methodology. First of all, we would like to apologize for the very short notice of the schedule. Our speaker has a very important appointment with the CEO of this company, so he had to prepone it early. So that's why we are having it at 1 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock, which was mentioned. So this afternoon we have Mr. Jishan Ahmad, who will be speaking to us on the topic Introduction to Typeset. So before I give this time to our session speaker, I would like to give a brief introduction of him. Like I said, this webinar will be headed by Mr. Jishan Ahmad, who is a BE graduate and has an extensive experience working in research domain for the last 7 years. He has been associated with TYPESET for the last 3 years and heads the university support and the training division. He has an expertise in providing training on the TYPESET platform to researchers and faculty from different institutes and some of the most reputed organizations such as NASA, CERN, ETH, and so on. Sir, we are very much glad to have you, sir. Without wasting much time, I give this time to you. Over to you, sir.
Sure. First of all, thank you so much, Daniel, for giving us an opportunity to do this demonstration. And I really appreciate Lendi Institute of Technology for coming up with such great initiatives to, upskill their faculty members as well as the students. So, first of all, for all the participants who are a part of the webinar today, I apologies for preponing the session. I think the session was scheduled to be held at probably 2 o'clock. But due to some professional commitments, I had to just go ahead and prepone it. So first of all, thank you so much for accommodating yourself as well. So what we'll be doing today is I'll be walking through what are the problems that are faced by the researchers today, and how does the platform TYPESET aim to solve these problems using the TYPESET platform. Now, during the course of the webinar, if you have any questions, just feel free to go ahead and put that into the chat box. So we'll have a 15-minute question and answer session at the end of the webinar, where I'll walk you through all the questions and tell you how to solve these problems as well. Okay, so let me just probably go ahead and start sharing my screen and walk you through how the platform works like. Daniel, so just let me know once you're able to look at my screen.
Yes, sir, your screen is visible.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Oh, perfect. Now, so what about TYPESET? So, to give you a little bit of background about what TYPESET, to give you a little bit of background about TYPESET. So, we have been in the business since the last, 7+ years, where we have been working with various organizations across the globe and helping a few universities such as Stanford, Oxford, CERN, ETH Zurich, NASA, in terms of effectively writing their research articles or publishing the research articles that they write, right? So to give you a little bit of background about, what is the problem that we are trying to solve. So since we've been in the business since the last 7 years, we have done various amount of surveys and we have done a lot of, inputs. We have about almost on a daily basis, we have about 600 to 700 people that sign up on our platform. So we did various surveys with them, and we have come up with certain problems that are faced with the researchers today, right? So to give you a little bit of let's imagine that you're writing a research article. It might be from physics, it might be from chemistry, it might be from biology, or it might be from any subject area, right? Research can be done in any particular subject area. Now, once you do the research, so you might take about 2 to 3 months doing this research, but once the research has been completed, you might go ahead and write that research on either on a book or probably in an MS Word or any other editor that you might use to write this particular research article. Now, once you've written a research article, the next step in terms of this research article is to get it published. Now, when you try and get this published, the first and foremost thing that you need to do is you need to go ahead and choose a specific journal in which you will go ahead and publish this research article. Now, for an example, if you just probably go ahead and search for Elsevier journal, right? There are multiple amount of journals, like the Elsevier journals on physics. So the moment you search for this, so there are multiple journals like this from which you can go ahead and probably pick from. But every journal has something called as a author guidelines. Right? So for an example, when I search for Elsevier author guidelines, you will actually get a document that shows you what a particular guideline should look like. So after you have done your research, one of the most important aspect in terms of getting your article published is to make sure that before you submit a research article to any journal, you got to make sure that your article is formatted according to these submission guidelines. Right? Now, you might ask me a question that why are the submission guidelines very important? Now, let's imagine that Elsevier calls for papers. For you, this might be a single research article. You might have spent 6 months, or you might have spent 1 year. But regardless of that, for you, this is just a single research article. But for when Elsevier calls for papers, it will actually accept papers from across the globe. So they might get n number of papers, but they can only publish a few because every issue has a certain limitation that they can publish with. They can probably, in an issue, they might only be able to publish 30 articles or probably 50 articles at max. Now, and all of these journals, they have a peer review policy. Now, when they do a peer review policy, what happens is the peer reviewers are actually subject matter experts, or they might be Nobel laureates as well, who are there on the peer review boards. And they do not have the time to actually go ahead and look through all the articles that have been submitted. So for an example, when Elsevier calls for papers, it might get thousands entry. It might get thousands of articles, probably let's say 800 or 1000 articles that are submitted to this particular journal. Now they cannot go ahead and assign all of these articles to the peer review board because the peer review board does not have the time to go ahead and look at all of these articles. So that's the reason what most of the journals do today is they set up first set of filter. Now the first set of filter is that any article that fails to meet the submission guidelines, right, will not be accepted by the journal. Now, the reason why most of the journals actually put up a submission guideline is to just go ahead and put a first set of filter so that the articles that fail to meet the submission guideline will actually get rejected. Now, to give you a little statistics about what has happens here, so you can see right now that we have about 62% rejection rate today, right? So due to which most of the research articles get rejected at the first stage itself, because no matter what the quality of your research is, but you have not formatted according to the submission guidelines. So this is exactly the problem that we're trying to solve. Now let's go back to the problem that are faced with the researchers today. So as I was mentioning to you that the formatting takes a lot of time and manual effort. Now let's look at what are the tools that are there in the research domain, or let's say what are the tools that are widely used with the researchers across the globe today. Now, a research article might be written on MS Word, or it can be formatted using MS Word, or it can be formatted using LaTeX, or it can be formatted using any other particular tool, right? So in this case, what happens is that since MS Word is not specifically meant for research writing, or it has not been specifically built for formatting research articles, because MS Word is basically a normal editor. Now, if you have to go ahead and write a research article on MS Word and then go ahead and format it on MS Word, it might take a lot of time for you to go ahead and do that. Also, it is a very manually intensive process, because the only thing that you need to do is you need to go ahead and understand these guidelines line by line, understand what should be the length of the article, how should a particular conflict of interest be called, how should it be written, and let's say like how should the copyright statement be called, like all of these, like how the references should be formatted, how the subdivisions should be named as. So this particular document has a very minute of details that are required, that are specifically mentioned by a particular journal. So formatting a research article to these guidelines will take a lot of time, and it will take a lot of manual effort. Now, the next problem that is faced by the researchers today is in terms of LaTeX. Now, let's imagine that you're actually from a different background. Let's say you're from a physics background, or probably chemistry or biology or mathematics or any other, background. So in such case, LaTeX is actually a tool that has been used by the researchers across the globe today to help them write the research articles, using LaTeX language. But if you're from a non-programming background, learning LaTeX and probably writing a research article on LaTeX would be a huge learning curve, and also it's a very time-consuming process. Now, just to give you a small example, now when you say how to add title page in LaTeX, so the first result actually shows you that just to write your title, you might need to probably go ahead and spend, probably a few minutes and probably around 15 to 20 lines of code that you need to just go ahead and write just to start a title page, right? Now, if you're from a programming background, you might find it very, very easier. But let's say if you're from a non-programming background, probably like physics, chemistry, or any other non-programming background, learning LaTeX just to write a research article might require you a lot of time, and it's a very huge learning curve that you actually need to go through, right? So that's the reason we believe that LaTeX has a huge learning curve. And LaTeX, apart from writing research article, it does not have any other applications as well. And one of the most important aspect in LaTeX is you not only type the code, but you also need to go ahead and type the content of your research article as well, right? So which we believe that it's a very time-consuming process, right? And what is the next problem that is faced with the researchers today? So currently, if you look at how the research ecospace has been diversified, so you have individual tools that actually help you do certain, part of the research writing, such as when you look at EndNote, right? So EndNote helps you build up a reference library and also do citations. Similar to PaperPile, similar to Mendeley or Zotero, right? And in terms of formatting, you might use LaTeX or you might use MS Word. Now, in terms of building research, you might be writing out the entire research articles on a book or probably an MS Word, and then consuming all of the research article in MS Word. So uh, due to which, what happens is a researcher would have to keep hopping between one tool to the other tool. So which we believe that it's actually a context switching, and a normal researcher would have to spend a few hours or probably a few days understanding how the other software works, and to learn this is also a very time consuming and a cumbersome process as well. Now, collaboration with co-authors, right? So as you might be aware that most of the research articles today can be co-authored by multiple different authors as well. A single research article can actually be co-authored by multiple different researchers. So a single research article can have up to about 5 or 6 co-authors as well. Now, since we have been hit by the pandemic since the last 2 years, I think collaboration is one of the most important aspects that most of the researchers as well as the faculties are facing today. Now, how does the collaboration happen today, right? So most of the collaboration, if it is happening offline, all of your co-authors would probably sit at a single room, and they would just discuss different aspects of the research writing of the research paper, and then they would just finalize on certain things. Or else, if they would want to probably collaborate online, they would send you an email with the document with the changes, and the co-author would review them and then come back with their changes. So it's more like a never-ending loop. So you do not have a tool that actually helps you collaborate with the co-authors online directly on the platform. So this is again one of the most important problem. Now, how TypeSet can actually bridge this gap, and what is TypeSet? So TypeSet is basically an authoring platform that has been built specifically for research, right? For researchers. So I come from a BE background, and most of our founders also are from engineering background. So we do understand what are the problems, because we also tried writing research articles and getting them published, right? So we have specifically built this platform for helping researchers to efficiently write the research articles and make sure that their articles are formatted according to the 100% compliance of the submission guidelines. Now, TypeSet has been built to eliminate the formatting needs, right? And what we have done right now is we have converted these guidelines. So as I was mentioning to before, that every journal has a different guideline. So this is a Springer author guideline, right? So it shows you that how their references should be called out. These guidelines vary from one journal to the other journal. Like the guidelines for Elsevier journal are completely different from the guidelines of the Springer journal. So what we have currently done is we have built, or we have converted these guidelines into individual templates. Now, whenever you're choosing a particular template, that gives you an assurance that your article would be formatted according to the guidelines of the journal with 100% compliance. So typeset has been built specifically to eliminate the formatting needs. So you might ask me, so what is the database of the journals or the number of journals that we have on the platform? So we have more than 50,000 plus journals that we have that are indexed in Web of Science, indexed in Scopus, as well as UGC care list journals. So and the journals range from multiple different subject areas such as arts, humanities. You name any particular subject area, and then we would at least have a few journals from that specific subject area. And this shows you that we have a very vast collection of the journals from different subject areas as well. Also, some of the newest technologies such as IoT, nanotechnology, astrophysics, astronomy, astrology, all of these subject areas are already present on the platform. Now, how does it work? So basically, the clutter-free editor, it does not require any sort of coding like how LaTeX does, or probably, if you have to work on MS Word, you might have to go ahead and be an intermediate user. So it's a clutter-free editor. It's mostly like a plug-and-play software where you choose a particular template, you upload your document, and then the software almost take care of 80% of the 80 to 85 to 90% of the work automatically. So you do not need to do any sort of coding, or you do not need to learn the platform or anything like that. It's a very easy to use platform, and you'll be able to easily add references, equations, figures, and tables, right? So all of this can easily be added on the platform. And if all of these have been added already in the docx, then the software can automatically go ahead and import that into a specific guidelines. Now, this is actually the most important feature of the TypeSet platform. Now, it actually automatically formats the manuscript according to the journal guidelines. So as I was mentioning to you before, that all of these guidelines have been converted into different templates. Now, the moment you choose a particular template, then upload your document, the software will automatically format your manuscript according to the journal guidelines. So you do not have to worry about, what should be the text size, how should it be formatted, what should be the reference style. All of this has been built into the template. So the moment you choose a template, the software will automatically go ahead and format it according to the journal guidelines with 100% compliance. And once the document has been formatted, you'll be able to go ahead and download them into the submission ready formats such as PDF, MS Word, as well as LaTeX formats. And you might ask me a question that what is the USP of the product, right? So the USP of the product is actually in terms of instant reformatting of your article into a different journal guideline. Now let's imagine that you had written a research article for Elsevier, but by any chance Elsevier rejects a research article. There might be a number of reasons that the language that you have written might not be up to the mark, or the kind of research that you have done is not aligning with the subject area of the journal, or there might be multiple different reasons why a research article would get rejected, right? So in such cases, what happens is most of the faculty members or the students, they give up thinking that we'll have to go ahead and rework on this particular article, which would again take about a week or probably a 15 days time as well. So as we all are aware that most of you would have academic commitments, and due to which most of the authors or the faculty members give up thinking that I'll have to spend again so much of time. Rather than that, let me just delay this particular article and let me look at it at a different point of time. Now, due to which most of the articles that are written today by the faculty of different various colleges are not published in any good journal, right? So that is also a problem that we are trying to solve, where once you choose a particular journal and within just a few clicks, you'll also be able to convert the same research article into a different journal guideline. So I'll show that to you how that would work on the software as well. Now, as I was mentioning to you, that you'll be able to seamlessly collaborate between different users. And if you have a PhD, if you're writing a PhD thesis, or if you have a guide, or probably somebody who's guiding you to write this research article, you can actually directly invite them on the platform, and you should be able to go ahead and collaborate with them seamlessly on the platform. So rather than looking at the product features into a presentation, let's probably directly jump into the platform, and I'll walk you through how the platform works. So this is the website of a particular platform, which is typeset.io. Let me go ahead and probably share this with you in the chat box. So this is the website of our product, which is basically called as typeset.io. Sure, let me just log out. So currently we are offering free trials up to 1,000 words. So if anybody wishes to go ahead and probably create an account, you can go ahead and actually create an account. It's just like how you create an account on Facebook or probably Instagram or anywhere else. So this is a cloud-based software, so you'll be able to use it from any part of the world with just a stable internet connection. Right? You can click on sign up, put in the name, email address, and the password, and then you should be able to go ahead and log into the platform. Now, once you have created an account, what you can do is you can just go ahead and click on login, put in your email address and the password. So we also offer multiple different university account as well. Let me show you how that would work. So this is an example of our university domain. So VIT Vellore Institute of Technology is actually one of our customer, and we have multiple other customers as well, which is IIM Bangalore. So right now you can see that the students can actually sign up using their official email address. So if Lundy Institute of Technology would make a decision of using TYPESET, they can actually go ahead and create an account using their official email addresses as well, right? So once you've created an account, you can click on login, and then the moment you click on login, you will actually land on the dashboard. And this is how the dashboard would look like. Now, towards your left, you have different segregation of the documents, such as recent documents, my documents, shared with me, favorites, and trash, right? And here you have all the documents that are there in your dashboard. This shows you when was the last time that you had viewed this particular document, and what was the template that you had chosen for the processing of this particular article, right? Now, the first step in processing any research article is to go into the templates gallery. Now, the moment you go to the templates gallery, you will see that this particular templates gallery would have give you an access to about more than 50,000 plus journal templates that are there in the particular platform. Now, since we have a few, pretty good participations, which is close to about 200, so can I go ahead and probably get a few suggestions on the name of the journals that you would want me to use? Anybody can just probably go ahead and put in the name of the journals into the chat box, and we can go ahead and use the same name of the journal. Sure. Elsevier, yes, we do have a lot of journals from Elsevier. Let me show you here as Elsevier. So under Elsevier, we have about 2,700 plus journals that are there under Elsevier, right? So there are a few suggestions that are coming in. Let's say environment science and pollution research. Let me search for it. Yeah, it is by Springer, right? So I think environment. Dr. Amit Kumar, I think we'll go with your suggestion, which is about environment science and pollution research. So let me just go ahead and search for it. Let me search for this. This was actually a journal by Springer, and I think we have been getting a few suggestions. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a few journals as well. But let me, rather than choosing this particular journal, I'll also show you one of the most important features. Now, let's say, as we have been getting a lot of suggestions, let me just go ahead and put any keyword, right? I'm just putting in as management as a keyword right now. Now, under management, you'll see that there are about 3,000 results, right? Like this, I can go ahead and put in any keyword. Like for an example, I'll go ahead and put in as environment. Now under environment, whatever journals that we have, so we have about 2,000 plus journals that are there in the environment keyword. Similarly, like we have finance. Put in as finance, there are about 900 plus journals. Similarly, let's put in as arts, and you'll be able to search about 800 plus journals. And let's put in as the new technology, which is IoT. Let me search for IoT, and there are 13 results that are there under IoT. Now let's search for nanotechnology. Like this, you can go ahead and put in any keyword, like any keyword that is related to a particular journal name. You'll be able to see that there would be at least a few journal templates that would be available on the platform. Now there is also a suggestion by Mr. Arun K, which is the Journal of Operations Management. Let me just probably go ahead and search for it. Yes, so this is actually a journal by Elsevier, which is by Journal of Operations Management. Now, the moment I click on view, you will see that this is how the template of the Elsevier guideline should look like. So if you're going ahead and submitting a research article to this particular journal, you got to make sure that your research article is formatted according to these specific guidelines, right? Now, the moment you choose a particular journal, what you need to do is you click on use template with my MS Word file. And this is where you will go ahead and upload the document that you want to convert it into a specific journal guideline. So please note that currently we only support inputting of a docx file. So you can only upload a docx file. So the moment you select a docx file, you click on open, and the moment you do that, you will see that the software would analyze the document, and then it will import all the content from the document onto the editor. So generally, this process would take about 30 to 60 seconds, depending on the speed of the internet connectivity and the size of the file. Right. So once the document has been analyzed, you can click on Let's Go, and then the moment you click on Let's Go, you will see that the next pop-up will tell you to choose the box that contain your article's title. So this is my article's title. I've selected it, and I click Save and Continue. Then the next pop-up will ask me to choose the authors and affiliations. So these are my authors and affiliations. I selected them, then I click Save and Continue. Next is to select the abstract. I selected the abstract, Save and Continue. And next we go back to the references. You click on the first reference and then the last reference. So while selecting the reference, you can actually see here that the name of the author is jumbled up, right? So even in cases where the author name is jumbled up or there's some erroneous information, the software is actually integrated with Crossref, which is one of the largest database of the references. So there's any mistake that actually is here or there's any erroneous information, the software can go ahead and automatically correct it as well. So once I selected the references, you click Save and Continue, and then you'll click on Preview Formatted Document. So the moment you click on Preview Formatted Document, what the software will do is it will go ahead and automatically format your research article according to the journal guidelines. Yeah, so now you can actually see that this is the article that I uploaded, and the journal and the software is automatically converted according to the guidelines of Elsevier. It has taken care of the formatting of the content, the authors and affiliations, the tables, the references, everything has been formatted according to the guidelines. So now you can see that the references that I had uploaded, they were not numbered. So Elsevier actually follows something called as an Elsevier numbered style. So you can see that the software has automatically converted according to the reference style of the Elsevier, right? Now, within just a few seconds, you could actually convert a research article into a journal guidelines of a Elsevier format, right? You can see the affiliations when you had uploaded, there was number 1 and 2, 3, but according to the guidelines, you should see that it has to be named as A, B, and C, right? So like this, the abstract was boxed. It was not boxed when it uploaded. The font size and the font style was completely different. It has been taken care of. All of the minute of specifications have been completely taken care by the software. Also, one of the most important aspect is in terms of changing of the name. So right now you can see that Abbas and Husseini Yes Nikhata, right? So this was the journal that we had, and now you can see how it has been completely formatted according to the specific. This is the first reference that was completely jumbled up. Now you can see how the formatting of the references also completely changed. So here you only had Abbas and Husseini, yes, but now you can see SA Abbas and Husseini, A Nikhatar and P Godausi, right? All of this information would actually be compared to the cross-ref, and then whatever is the right information, it would automatically be added to the document. So even though the software does almost 85 to 90% of the work automatically, there is still probably about a 5 to 10% of the work that needs to be done by the user. So for doing that, you click on Edit on Typeset, and then you will actually land on the editor. I think there are a few questions. Yeah, so whatever questions that you have during the webinar, you can just probably go ahead and add them into the chat box. And at the end of the session, we'll probably go ahead and start answering them one by one. So right now you can see this is how the editor looks like. So towards your left, you have a preview panel that shows you how your document is getting formatted in real time, right? And at the center, what you basically have is an editor that works like an MS Word. So you'll be able to go ahead and add, delete, or probably customize whatever the content that you want to. Towards your left, you have an outline section, and then here you have an author section and the metadata section. So let me show you what are the manual elements that you might have to do. So right now you can see that my keywords have been added into a proper section, but there is an extra copy here. So I'll just probably go ahead and delete this and do a refresh. So whatever changes that you make here, if you want them to be reflected in this particular document, you just got to go ahead and do a simple refresh. Now, the moment you do a refresh, you will see that this particular content would get deleted from the document like this, right? Now, in certain cases, when the images are very, very big, so you can see that right now this image is very big and it is taking up an entire page, right? So in certain cases, what happens is the legends will be added automatically, but the figure captions will actually be below the figure. So in such case, you just need to cut it and add it here, right? So this is the second manual work that you might have to do, and then delete this unwanted table. Now, once you delete it, you can see right now that the legend is showing up, but there's no captions. Since we have added it, let's just do a refresh. Now, the moment you do a refresh, you will actually see that all of that information would actually be compiled into the document. So right now you can see how my caption has started showing up in the document, right? Now you can see how the tables and everything have been formatted. So the next manual work is, let's say if you follow a numbered citation, such as number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4, right? So the software has an ability to automatically cite the references. But in cases where you have author, year style like this, right? Kobayashi, Fisher, probably Wayu et al, and Abbas and Husseini like this. So in such cases, what you actually need to do is you'll have to go ahead and manually cite the references. So you have a reference by the name Kobayashi and Fisher 2008. So I'm just clicking on the cursor here. I click on Cite References, and all the references that were a part of my document, they would start showing up here, right? And then you can go ahead and click on Fisher and click on this. Now this gets cited. So the Elsevier actually follows a numbered citation style. So even though you have uploaded author, year, the software has an ability to go ahead and automatically make it as numbered because the template has been built according to the specification of Elsevier journal. We're searching for YU now and click on, and now this gets cited as number 2. So if you have like citations that have already been marked up and it have been, everything has been done on, Mendeley or Zotero, you can actually click on import add references and then import an XML file or a BIP file as well. Similar to we have a refworks import and as well as a BibTeX code as well. So we provide you with both the options. So this is the other manual work that you might have to do. Let me show it to you once again. So here you have Muhammad, right? So I'm clicking on the cursor. I'm clicking on Cite References, and then I'm searching for Muhammad. So this is the one I'm clicking on here, and now this would get cited automatically. Right, so this is how you can actually go ahead and cite the references. Now, once you know that your citation is completely done, you just do a refresh. And now, in terms of adding the tables or in terms of adding the equations or in terms of adding up multiple different things, let me show you how to get that done. So like we have an insert option here where you can go ahead and add a figure, a code snippet, an equation. So if let's say in cases where you would want to add an equation, you click on insert and then you click on equation and then choose whether it is an inline or a standalone equation. So let me just go ahead and click on standalone equation, and then a visual editor would actually open up where you can go ahead and choose whatever the equation symbols or whatever that you would want to. Similar to this, we also have a LaTeX option where you can actually go ahead and add the LaTeX code of a specific equations, and then the equation would automatically get added up easily, right? So this is how you can easily go ahead and add the equations. And also if the equations are present in the document that you're uploading, the software can easily go ahead and import them as well. So you do a click on refresh, and the moment you do that, you will see that the document would now be completely formatted according to the general guidelines of Elsevier journal. And once you know that your document is ready, you click on File, Save as PDF, include unset reference, and then download. So the moment you do that, you will see that the document would get downloaded, and you will be having a document that is completely, and then you'll actually see a document that is completely formatted according to the journal guidelines of Elsevier, right? So as you can see, within just a span of about 10 to 15 minutes, we actually converted a research article according to the guidelines of Elsevier journal. Now this document is completely ready for being published in Elsevier. But by any chance, if this article gets rejected by Elsevier, and if you have done this on MS Word or probably on LaTeX, you might have to go ahead and search for a different journal And then let's say you like to understand their guidelines and again reformat this article according to their guidelines, which would easily take about a day's time, or probably, in cases, it might take a few weeks as well. Now, since most of your academicians, I understand that you might be having your own personal academic commitments, right? So in such cases, you might not be able to focus on this. But if you had used typeset for formatting this research article, now within just a single click, you'll actually be able to convert this according to a different journal format. Now we had chosen Elsevier. Let me just go ahead and probably choose Springer journal now, right? So let me just probably go ahead and search for Springer, right? I'm searching for Springer. And the moment I search for Springer, you will see that there are about 2,945 journals. I'll go ahead and choose the first one and click on view, and then I click on use this format. So the moment I do that, right, what you will see here is that the same article that was initially formatted into Elsevier guidelines would now be formatted according to a Springer journal within just a few seconds. So this is actually the USP of the product, where it can actually help you in terms of formatting your research article within just a few seconds. And once you've changed the template, you just click on refresh, and now the software would actually go ahead and automatically format it according to the guidelines of the Springer journal. Yeah, so now as you can see, right now within just a few seconds, the same document that was initially formatted according to the Elsevier guidelines has been formatted now into a Springer journal. And one of the most important aspects in Springer journal is that right now, as you can see, last time when we had cited a particular reference, they were cited as numbered citations. But Springer actually follows author comma year style. So as you can see right now, it follows an author year style. Right now, you can see how it has been formatted. So the software is intelligent enough to understand what are the different guidelines of the different journals, and it will automatically format it according to those specific journals. Also, Springer makes it mandatory that all the images and the tables that are a part of the document should actually be moved at the end, right? So right now you can see that there are figures and the tables, and at the end, when you go ahead and search for them, all of the figures in the tables have been moved at the end, right? And also you can see that the name of the references also have changed automatically, right? So this is how the software is intelligent enough to understand different guidelines, and then it will actually help you format a research article into various different guidelines as well. So click on File, Save as, PDF, Include Untitled Reference, and then Download. And within a span of a few seconds, you will see that the same article that was initially converted into Elsevier now would be converted into a Springer journal format, right? So this is how the software can actually help you format a research article from one journal format to the other journal format. Now, let's say if you want to go ahead and repurpose this research article into a different, probably a university thesis or anything like that, or you might ask me a question, how does this software handle two-column templates? Now, let me choose one of the two-column templates that is there in Bentham Science. So you can see this is a two-column template, right? I click on use this format, and then I'll just do a simple refresh. Now, the moment I do a refresh, you will see that the same article that was initially formatted into a single column, such as Elsevier or Springer, now would be formatted into a two-column template, which is actually a guideline of Bentham Science. Yeah, like this. Also, since the images are very, very big, within just a few clicks, you'll actually be able to make it a column fit. You click on these three dots, change the width from full width to column fit, similar to this, and then just do a refresh. Now, the moment you do a refresh, you'll see that these images that were actually taking up an entire page now would be converted into a single page, like this, right? And then the formatting of the references would also be completely different. Now, once you know, you click on File, Save As, and then PDF, Include Untitled Reference, and then Download. So similarly, if you'd want to convert the same research article into a university thesis or probably into a PhD dissertation template or anything like that, so we also provide you an opportunity where you can go ahead and do that as well. So under universities, you can see that there are multiple universities that are actually using us on a daily basis. You can see right now, right? So most of those theses are actually formatted according to this template. So let me just probably go ahead and use Anna University template, or probably let's search for RIT. Yeah, so this is the template that I'm searching for, and you can see this is how the thesis template would look like. I click on use this format, and the same research article that was initially formatted into a journal guidelines would now actually be converted into a thesis template. So this is how the students can actually go ahead and the faculty members can actually go ahead and repurpose the research article that they have done into various different, like a PhD dissertation or probably a thesis or anything like that. And the software would automatically convert the same research article into a thesis format. Yeah. So right now you can see the images, the first page, the acknowledgements, certificates, declaration, and everything has been added automatically by the software. Then I click on File, Save as PDF, include on-cited reference, and then download. And also, as I know that most of the faculty members and the students from various different universities do a lot of conferences, and they do a lot of virtual as well as physical conferences. We also provide you with an opportunity where you can actually go ahead and repurpose this research article into a conference template as well. So you can see that under conferences, let me just probably go ahead and search for IEEE, and I'm searching for IEEE conferences, and then I'll choose the first one. I click on view, and then I click use this format. Now, the moment I do that, the same research article, which was formatted initially into a journal, Elsevier journal, and then into a Springer journal, and then into a Bentham Science, and then into a thesis guideline, would also be converted into a conference guidelines of the IEEE standards, and then just do a refresh. So as you can see, the software not only helps you in terms of formatting, but it also helps you in terms of reformatting. For any chance, if one of your journal rejects a research article, you can just go ahead and reformat it into a different journal format. So this is how you can actually go ahead and utilize the TypeSet platform and then take care of your publishing needs, right? You click on File, Save as PDF, include on-cited reference, and then download. So we also provide you with a plagiarism checking feature. So we're integrated with Authenticate, which is one of the largest plagiarism software that is there in the globe today. So if you have a university subscription, if the university has subscribed for the TypeSet platform, you'll be able to go ahead and do a plagiarism check. So you click here and then click on New Check. Similarly, if you would want to probably go ahead and share this article, you can click on Share, add in the name of your co-author, put in the email address, and then invite. And you should be able to work on this particular document online, right? So like this, you can see how the article has been reformatted into a IEEE conference template. So this is how you can actually use TypeSet platform and format a research article from a non-formatted state to a formatted state. And also if the formatted state article gets rejected, you can reformat it to a different journal, right? And so what we do is we not only help you in terms of formatting and reformatting, but we also help you in terms of journal discovery, right? So let's say I'm just putting in as physics keyword. Now, as you might be, as a subject matter expert, you might be aware of the top 5 or probably let's say top 10 journals in physics, or probably in physics domain, right? But what if all of these 10 journals reject your research article? So what the TypeSet platform does, that it gives you multiple different options where you can actually go ahead and get your article published. And all of these research articles are grade A journals, and they have been handpicked by a due diligent team, right? And most of the journals actually have a pretty good impact factor score, and they are very reputed journals. So the TypeSet platform not only helps you in terms of formatting and reformatting, but it also helps you in terms of journal discovery. So what happens is if the top 5 journals or the top 10 journals reject a research article, you might get disheartened thinking that no, there is no journal that might accept my paper. But this is where TypeSet plays a pretty good role, and it actually helps you in terms of finding new journals where the journals that are equally competent, and you can actually go ahead and get your articles published in these research articles. I mean, get your research articles published in this reputed journal. So this is how you can actually utilize the platform. So what we believe is that the researcher should what they're good at, that is research, and the formatting and the reformatting and the journal discovery should actually be handled by a software like TypeSet. So this is about how you can actually use the TypeSet platform and take care of your research writing needs. So let me just probably go ahead and answer the question so that we can wind up the session. So I think, as I was mentioning to you, that I had used a few different journal suggestions, as I was mentioning to you. So you can go ahead and probably type in any keyword that you have, right? Like tribology, you can go ahead and click on tribology. You can go ahead and type on sociology. Whatever keyword that you have, we should be having at least a few journals. And by any chance, if you do not have the template that you're searching for, right? In such cases, what you can do is, if you have a premium subscription, you can go ahead and request for that template, and we will go ahead and enable it. We'll go ahead and build it and enable it on your platform within a span of 24 to 48 hours. Right? So this is how you can go ahead and use different templates. Now, Dr. Amit Kumar, the cost of subscription. So we offer both the subscription. One is individual subscription, as well as we offer premium subscription, like university subscriptions. For individual subscriptions, you can go ahead and reach out to, go ahead and visit our website. But if you want to go ahead and look at for university subscription, then you can go ahead and write me an email at zishan@typeset.io. So this is my email ID. Or probably you can give me a call on my number, which is 91789226951. So just go ahead and feel free to drop me a line, and I'll be happy to help you with any questions that you might have. Now, Anupama Gupta, is the TypeSet software free to access or paid? So we actually offer a free lifetime free subscription, but that is only up to 1,000 words, right? So if you want more words, then you'll have to buy a premium subscription. Does TypeSet adjust mathematical symbols and equations? Absolutely yes. As I was mentioning to you, you can go ahead and add your mathematical symbols and equations using the mathematical editor that we have inbuilt, or you can use the LaTeX equation. Now the next question is, how can do journals having ISSN as a peer review? For this, permission of your UGC is required. Kindly tell me the process. Sumanta Kumar, I think the question is a little unsure. Can you just go ahead and probably type in the question, or just feel free to send me an email and I'll be happy to respond back to you. Dr. Amit Kumar, let's convert it to environment science and pollution science. I think I've used various different journal examples. It's just like the same thing. You search for the journal name, click on change template, and then the software would automatically do it. Now, the next question is, sir, is this a free software? Absolutely yes, Natasha. The software is free up to 1,000 words. Kanimozi, sir, is it possible to download or formatted content? It's not possible to. It is possible, right? So as I was showed to you, you can go ahead and download that into, into PDF, into an into a PDF, into MS Word, as well as into a LaTeX format. Now, the next question is, sure, Yavar, how is this useful in PhD thesis writing other than inserting research paper? I mean, in terms of writing a PhD thesis, so you might be doing a PhD under a specific university, right? So it might be Anna University, Mumbai University, or probably Andhra University, or anything like that, right? So in such cases, you actually have a template on our university. So you can choose a particular template and then just straight away go ahead and search and directly writing the article there as well. Hariguru, I think as I showed to you, this is a TST. This is actually a dissertation. The thesis format is also quite similar. So as you can see, I converted the same research article into a thesis format. You can see how the abstract, the introduction, the references, the images, everything have been formatted. Like this, similarly, you can go ahead and format a research article in. I mean, if you want to repurpose a research article into a thesis, you can actually go ahead and do that as well. Anupama Gupta, sir, just now register for free version. Does template can show only few journal of specifically like Springer? Like you can go ahead and search for any number of journals. You just go ahead and type in the name of the template and you should be able to find there. And also you can go ahead and search for the name of the publisher as well. So I think what you have done is you have searched for the name by publisher. That's the reason you're only getting results like here. Don't click on this. You can just go ahead and type in here. So if you click on IEEE, you'll only get the journals that are there under IEEE. Right? So like this, I would recommend you to probably go ahead and search for the feature. That particular search feature will give you better results. Praharsh Patel, can we track the record in typeset? So currently we do not have version history because version history is a very difficult feature. We are trying to build a new version history feature, but at the moment we currently do not have that feature. Sure. I think if there are any other questions, just feel free to go ahead and type in the questions. Paulami Banerjee, authenticate subscription needed separately? Not needed. So if you buy a premium subscription, either as an individual user or as a college user or probably university user, the university will pay for it. If you're buying individually, then you might have to pay for the plagiarism check. So the pricing for pricing related queries, just please visit us at typeset.io. Let me just go ahead and search. You click on typeset.io and then you can answer the questions. Kanimoji, you click on file, click on save as, choose whichever format that you want, PDF and download. Want to download LaTeX, you click on file, save as LaTeX, download it as LaTeX or DocX. Very easy to use. So we have a YouTube channel as well that shows you how to use this platform as well. So I'll go ahead and share these links with Dr. Daniel, or probably you can go to YouTube and search for Typeset, and you should be able to find our channel where we, have mentioned all the issues and how to use the platform. Let me search for Typeset here, and this is our platform. I'm selecting this. Kindly go ahead and visit this. Kindly go ahead and visit this platform, and you should be able to answer any questions that you have.
Can we take one question from the participant? I'm sorry.
Sure, I think the Kanimoji, but the downloaded content again available in online only, sir. No, this is not available online. This would be downloaded on your local system. This is downloaded on my local system. It's not online. Sure. I think Daniel, could you, if there are any other questions that from faculty members or probably if somebody has, you can probably go ahead and ask me a question or you can put it into the chat box. And if there are no further questions, we can probably conclude this.
Yes, sir. Participants, if you have any questions, so you can raise your hand so that I can unmute you. You can ask your question to the session speaker. Any more questions?
Sure. I think I would really appreciate if you could just probably go ahead and provide your feedback, on the session that we did with you, because this will not only help us improve, but also help the university as well as your particular institute to do a couple of more informative sessions like this, right? So feel free to go ahead and provide your feedback, and I'll be happy to help you. Now, in terms of the subscription prices or anything like that, I've shared my contact number as well as my email ID, and Mr. Daniel also has my information. You can probably reach out to Mr. Daniel and he'll be happy to assist you with that. The YouTube channel name is Typeset. Just go to YouTube and just type in as Typeset. You should be able to find our channel. Sure. I think, Daniel, I need to head into a different meeting as well. So
yes.
just conclude this.
Yes, sir. I understand, sir. I'll take it from here. So thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful presentation on this software. Yes, it's really useful tool for all the researchers and everybody who is looking into research and trying to figure out what to do with the format, one single format that they have. I think this will be a very ideal tool for them. Thank you very much, sir, for this wonderful presentation. We're very happy to have you.
So thank you so much for giving us an opportunity, and I think I would recommend you that if there are any further sessions in the future, just feel free to let us know, and we'll be happy to help you. And the only thing that we require from you is just feel free to help us with your feedback, whether it is positive, negative, or however it is, and we would be more than happy to go ahead and get your feedback and probably work on it. Okay.
Sure, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
And thank you so much for all the participants for being so patient and for being there with us for the 1 hour. I think the session was meant to be done for probably more than 1.5 hours, but since we have a time constraint, I've went a little fast and I've just tried to wind it up. Just if you have any further questions, just feel free to reach out to Dr. Daniel or probably me. I've shared my information and we'll be happy to assist you further. So wishing you guys a great rest of the day and also the rest of the session. And thank you so much, Daniel, for being so supportive and being cooperative. And I congratulate you for such a good session, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much, sir. Dear participants, we have come to the end of the session from day 4. Feedback link will be posted in the chat box. Please fill in the details. We have a one quick announcement. Since the session has been preponed in a very short time, many of you all have missed the certain part of the session. So what we'll do is we'll try to play the same session once again in this meeting itself. So if you have any questions, you can just you can post your questions in the feedback form so that we will get back to the